What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Jays Today. In this one, we have some major Toronto Blue Jays free agent updates that we have got to get into. Corbin Burns flying off the board, heading over to those Arizona Diamondbacks, and Toronto just missing out on another top-tier free agent. Where does that leave us this offseason? There's some reports coming out discussing Pete Alonso, Anthony Santander, Alex Bregman, but is Ross Atkins even going to be capable of getting it done? Some fans are calling for his head right now, and honestly, I don't even blame them because it does feel like, to this point, the Toronto Blue Jays have been pretty directionless this offseason. So we're going to talk about that Corbin Burns signing, and then also the next steps for this Toronto Blue Jays team. Where does that leave us, and where are they going to pivot? Before we do, though, please make sure to hit that like, smash that subscribe button if you enjoy Blue Jays content and discussion so you don't miss any future videos. All right, everybody, let's go and take a look at that Corbin Burns deal. 6 years, $210 million, heading over to the Arizona Diamondbacks. In complete transparency, guys, when I saw this contract, the initial thought that I had was, are you kidding me? We couldn't have done better than that. We couldn't have matched that. The Blue Jays couldn't have gone over the top here. And I guess to Ross Atkins' credit, he was thinking the same thing. According to Bob Nightingale, there was an AL East team, which a lot of people have speculated was the Toronto Blue Jays, that were offering a 7-year, $250 million deal for Corbin Burns. The big difference was, though, there was no opt-outs in that contract offer, whereas the one that he got with those Arizona Diamondbacks, it does include an opt-out after that second year. So I guess if he's thinking to himself, you know what, play 2 good years of baseball and then I get to cash in again, it does make sense. And then maybe the most frustrating part is that Bob Nightingale went on to say that taxes could have been a big thing. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. You know, well, Canada has a higher tax rate than a place like Arizona, and that did come into play here. Arizona just clearly doesn't tax, these guys as much, and for us, that's always just going to be something that we're having to play around and to pivot around, and in this particular instance, we miss out again, which has a lot of Toronto Blue Jays fans feeling extremely frustrated. In fact, we even have an article here titled "Toronto Blue Jays Fans React Angrily on X to Team Missing Out on Top Free Agents Again." And before I even break down some of the tweets, everybody, I just gotta say, it is so goddamn infuriating to be runners-up, or, favorites to sign a guy, or, just never actually crossing the finish line. We knew that this offseason was going to be difficult, right? You're coming off of a 74-win season. You don't have Guerrero locked up for a long period of time, which is a whole separate thing. But we knew it was going to be tough to get these guys to agree to come here. It is getting to be a lot. You know what I mean? Like, we're just missing out on everybody, and it feels like we're so close. And I'm not the only one that feels that way, everybody. We got several individuals coming out here and talking about how they have had it with Ross Atkins. Peter Anthony saying Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins are the worst executive duo in pro sports. They destroyed the Blue Jays for a generation of fans. I don't know if I agree with them being the worst, because you do have the Rockies and the White Sox and everything. But point being, times have been tough. You got Connor Hall coming out and saying Ross Atkins is single-handedly ruining this franchise, from trading away Moreno and Lourdes, Teo and Moore, to not being able to sign any notable players in free agency. Bo and Vladdy are gone after this season. Book it. # Blue Jays. And then to wrap things up, you got Maddie out here. She's great on Twitter. Highly recommend going and checking out her stuff. But she's just saying exactly what I was saying. A person can only take so many. The Blue Jays were runners up. And honestly, I don't think that all of this can be put on Ross Atkins. A lot of it certainly can. But, signing free agents is going to be tough. It's just everything. It's the fact that they won 74 games. It is the fact that, he went out and he traded for a defense first guy already this offseason. It is the fact that we haven't been able to go over the top on some of these free agents and get them across the finish line. So I hear what everybody's saying, and I just wanted to come out and say, I am as frustrated as all of you, and it does feel like the clock is seriously starting to tick for Ross Atkins and for Mark Shapiro. Like we were saying all during last year, Well, this offseason needs to be the offseason where you go out and you spend $200+ million and you bring in everybody, because if the goal is to be competitive in 2025, I mean, what are we doing here? Is Andres Jimenez going to move the needle and, bring us to the postseason? No disrespect to his game, but I don't think so, right? So it does feel like, honestly, the clock is seriously ticking on those guys, and they've got to be feeling the heat right now because free agents are flying off the board, and as much as they can believe all they want or spout about how defense and pitching and everything's going to win championships, we do need to be able to score runs, everybody, and I really think that is where this team is going to have to pivot. So a lot of people are wondering what's next for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's got to be Alonso, it's got to be Bregman, it's got to be Santander, or it is a bust. I tweeted this out today, right? You miss out on Teo, you miss out on Corbin Burns. These are the guys. And once they fly off, once Alonso signs or Bregman signs or what have you, I mean, you're cooked. You can't walk into 2025 and seriously be telling your fan base that you want to be competitive with the lineup that you currently have. It's not going to work. We still got Springer leading off for us. That is not a winning formula right now. I think the current projected lineup has Kirk batting fourth. Like, it's just not going to fly, right? So one of these guys needs to become a Toronto Blue Jay, and if he doesn't, then we are in for it, everybody. If I had to take bets right now, I personally am thinking it's going to be an Alex Bregman. If we have any hope of getting anybody, and I'm going to get into more of that later, my reasoning why, but some people are suggesting that it could be Anthony Santander. There's an article right here saying that the best guess when it comes to free agent Anthony Santander is apparently the Toronto Blue Jays. I get the argument. I get where they're coming from. This is from John Heyman saying that power hitters, even good ones like Santander, are one constituency not getting their due yet. Understandably, he's been looking to crack $100 million. The Jays are nearly everyone's best guess, followed by Boston. And a large reason why everybody is thinking that, this could be the Toronto Blue Jays that go out and that get Anthony Santander is the fact that we did miss out on Teoscar Hernandez, right? You didn't get Teo. We missed out big. We're still looking for that guy in the lineup. This is kind of your next best option when it comes to, a power-hitting outfielder on the market. And I understand all of that. And trust me when I say I would love Anthony Santander, right? We're talking about somebody that hit 44 home runs last year, right? We really, other than Guerrero, we don't have anybody that's got that capability or that ceiling. It used to be George Springer. It's not George Springer anymore. We need somebody to be back there protecting Guerrero. So if this wants to be the direction that Ross Atkins is going to go in, I am all for it. I would love to see Anthony Santander in Toronto Blue Jays blue. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, my best guess when it comes to which top-tier free agent I think that we could get, it's going to be Alex Bregman. And let me tell you why here. For starters, we are apparently in the mix still for Alex Bregman. They have here the Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, and New York Yankees have all expressed interest in the talented infielder. We've heard several reports about how the Toronto Blue Jays are seriously in on Bregman. We've also been hearing recently that the Detroit Tigers, who are looking at him, they're not willing to go up to the $200 million contract request that Bregman is looking for right now. And I'm not saying that Ross Atkins is going to do that because he's been a little stingy this offseason, but we were just ready and willing to throw $250 million over there to Corbin Burns, and that clearly didn't work. We were ready and willing to throw, $700 million to Juan Soto. And Alex Bregman, other than Santander, other than, Pete Alonso, Alex Bregman has incredible defense. And what does Ross Atkins value? He values the defense that this guy provides. This is somebody that just won a Gold Glove at the third base bag. And when you're looking over there at the third base bag, you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, Ernie Clement could do it. And, maybe we got a couple other guys. But we don't have anybody like an Alex Bregman. So honestly, at this point, everybody, considering where the offseason is going, if I had to make a bet, I think that Alex Bregman is the best chance that the Toronto Blue Jays have at getting anybody. And that's assuming that they get one of these guys. There's also a really good possibility that they don't get any of them. And if that is the case, then I tend to agree with every single one of the Toronto Blue Jays fans that were screaming on X, screaming on Twitter after the Corbin Burns signings. If you don't get any one of these guys, Ross, Mark, it's over, boys. Whoa, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 years of older to participate. Please play responsibly. Now, everyone, back to the content. We have got to see Alex Bregman or Teo, or not Teo, excuse me, Anthony Santander or Pete Alonso. One of them needs to become a Toronto Blue Jay. If I had to place bets right now, I think that Bregman's the best shot. But at this point, I would take any of them because we just need some talent in that lineup, guys. But those are your latest Toronto Blue Jays news and updates. Missing out on Hernandez, missing out on Corbin Burns, people screaming about Ross Atkins, and some reports saying that we're close on some guys, but currently not getting it across the finish line. Gee, what else is new? I feel like I've seen this movie before. But you guys let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Only $3 become a Patron member. Shout out and thank you to all of our current Patron members and our YouTube members. You guys are amazing. Happy holidays to every single one of you. Happy New Year to every single one of you. And we will catch you next time. Go Jays, go.